We've got just 4 game weeks of the season remaining, and I'm hitting the wildcard button as I look to gain some momentum over the run-in. Help me get this video to 1,000 likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Starting off with how my game week 34 is going then, and it's been a tough one going up against free hitters. I'm on 68 points. I did take a -4 hit. I've still got Vandenberg to play on Thursday evening, but you know, not massive expectations for that game. I can see Nottingham Forest scoring. 4 points from Pickford felt huge without a clean sheet. There was returns in my defence for Livramento and Trent, but Robinson failed to turn up, which automatically sent me down to 10. Nice returns in the attack though. Jacob Murphy and Alexander Isak, that double up paid off. Diaz and Salah both getting on the score sheet as well. Cunha with a massive 15-pointer. Cole Palmer, the only member of my midfield to fail to deliver an attacking return. So on paper it looks like a good week, but you look at the free hit teams that maybe had Nori, Trippier, Sessegnon, they really delivered this week, and not having those differentials on free hit has really hurt me. So I have seen a dip in my overall rank. I've gone from about 45k to 65k, but hopefully with the wild card still in my back pocket, I can get that welcome boost in the remaining 4 game weeks of the season. Now, before we get into my wildcard plans then, some important things to note. First of all, we've got midweek fixtures for 6 teams. We've got Arsenal facing PSG at home in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. They do have the better of the scheduling, with the Tuesday this week and the Wednesday next week, giving them a little bit more time between their games, obviously with Bournemouth at home sandwiching those fixtures. And then on Thursday, we've got Europa League action in the semi-finals for Manchester United and Spurs. Now, both of those sides are at home this week, which should help them before the away legs next week. Chelsea, though, in the Conference League are away this week in Sweden before coming for the home leg for leg 2. So that's significant. We've also got the final fixture of game week 34, which I've already mentioned, which is Nottingham Forest at home to Brentford. Maybe a little bit of a hangover for Forest following their FA Cup semi-final against Man City. Obviously failed to progress to the final. So lots going on. We're also expecting to get some sort of announcement on the postponed fixtures for the FA Cup final. So Manchester City were due to take on Bournemouth at home. We also have Crystal Palace due to take on Wolves at home. Now, more than likely those fixtures will move to the midweek of game week 37, but we are waiting for the Premier League to clarify. Hopefully it comes before Friday's deadline. Bear in mind it is a Friday deadline, because I have been a bit keen to activate my wild card. Hopefully there'll be no regrets on that one. Where to start then on planning the wild card for this week? Well, I think the big focus for me was trying to decide which were the main teams to target for me on wildcard, and it's kind of the teams that are not involved in European competition or the FA Cup final. So I'm kind of looking to avoid in general Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Spurs, Manchester City and Crystal Palace, but I wanted to invest in teams that are still in form or maybe have a little bit to play for, with some good fixtures remaining. And there's some key teams to target. Newcastle, first of all, are a team that have really stood out to me in recent games. They're in a good run of form, which definitely makes them a team to invest in. They've won 4 of their last 5 league games. You look at their fixtures for the remainder of the season, they look quite nice. They've got Brighton away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal away in 37, and then Everton at home in 38. I think those fixtures 36 and 38 look particularly appealing, and remember that 2 of their opponents are still involved in Europe, so a key side to target definitely there. I also want to be invested in Nottingham Forest now that they're out of the FA Cup final. Obviously a big audition against Brentford in midweek, but their fixtures include Leicester at home and West Ham away in 36 and 37. Good fixtures on the whole, to be fair, for Nottingham Forest. So again, a team whose defence has been very consistent this season, and I'm hopeful that the attack can maybe do some damage as well. The next team to look at, another team knocked out of the FA Cup this weekend, Aston Villa. They've won 4 of their last 5 games in the league. So another side that are definitely coming into some decent form right now and scoring a lot of goals in this time as well. You look at this run of games, they've scored 13 goals across their last 5 league games, which is attractive. You look at the fixtures, they've got Fulham at home this weekend, then Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, and Manchester United away on the final game of the season. Again, I think that's a very good run of fixtures, certainly some nice attackers to choose from, and maybe some defensive options as well. Final team to target, Wolves. They've won 6 on the bounce now in the league, which is just ridiculous. Not the greatest entry points, City away, but their options are cheap enough to bench. It's Brighton at home in 36, Palace away in 37, which obviously clashes with the FA Cup final, so Palace's attention is going to be elsewhere. And then Brentford at home on the final day of the season. A lot of their assets banging form at either end of the pitch as well, keeping some clean sheets in recent games. So they're the teams that I'm targeting that are going to make up the basis of my wildcard. Having said all that and saying that I wanted to avoid Arsenal in general, I am going to get David Raya as my goalkeeper. Bournemouth at home this week. I'm definitely going to play him in this game. And then I'm looking at Southampton away. Game week 38 is a great fixture. Now, I worry about Arsenal and rotation with the Champions League, but I think Raya will be immune from that. So he is going to get the nod. Remember, Arsenal have conceded the fewest number of big chances on their goal this season. Raya with 12 clean sheets as well. And I'm going to pair him with Matt Sells, who I'm planning to play in 36 and 37, where he plays Leicester at home and West Ham away. A goalkeeper that I've really regretted not investing in this season. 13 clean sheets, and I think Nottingham Forest will keep up this momentum towards the end of the season as they look to secure Champions League. Moving into the defence, I'm going to double up on the Forest defence with Milenkovic. I've not owned a Nottingham Forest defensive player all season, so for the final 4 game weeks, I'm going all in there as well. I wanted a Newcastle defender. You could buy any of them, but the fact that Trippier's got 3 assists in the last 3 game weeks makes him a really attractive option for me. The trouble is he's very injury prone, so I'm going to be really annoyed if he picks up an injury, because I think it's, perfectly viable to play him for all of the last few game weeks of the season, to be honest. So that's something just to keep in mind there, but fingers crossed he can kind of come through unscathed. Trent is also in there. Chelsea away this week. He has been in good attacking form since coming back from injury, 1 goal and 1 assist. But that Liverpool defence still looking very solid. I know they've got the title sewn up, but, this is, Trent's final few games for the club, before he moves away potentially. So that's something to keep an eye on. My substitute defenders for this week are Konza at home to Fulham and Aït-Nouri away at City. Into the attack then, and not a great deal of change here. Salah, of course, has to keep his spot. Probably the best captain pick for all of the last few game weeks of the season. And Luis Diaz has been a form player for Liverpool in recent games, so he keeps his place as well. Tougher fixtures for Liverpool than some teams, but they've got the title secured now. They're just going to be playing for fun, and I don't think that's going to slow them down. Kind of looking at their form over the last few games, they've won 7 of the last 8 since. In that time, they've scored 10 goals as well. So I'm very happy to be doubled up on them. Cole Palmer is gone. I'm bringing in Bryan Mbeumo, who I've not owned for a long time this season. Some great fixtures coming up for Brentford. Manchester United at home, Ipswich away, Fulham at home, Wolves away. And Mbeumo is a player who's been killing me in terms of not being able to get those returns from him. It is 36% owned, so I'll be very happy to have him back in my team. And then the 4th midfielder, I'm going to pick 2 strong players here, Morgan Rogers and Jacob Murphy, who rotate very nicely. I'm hoping to get 4 home games out of this duo over the last 4 game weeks of the season. It's very important to have a good first sub, especially at this time of the season where we can see bits of rotation and surprises in there as well. So they both retain their spot. I'm probably going to have points on my bench most weeks, but there you go. And then into the forward line, Isak, still great form at the moment. Great fixtures for Newcastle as well. He has to keep his spot. Matheus Cunha as well has got 4 goal involvements since coming back from suspension in 2 and a bit games. So he's in. The big decision is on the 3rd forward. Chris Wood is the one that's in at the moment. He's got a big audition against Brentford. He's been a sterling player for me this season, so I would really like him for the last few game weeks. Certainly looking at Forest fixtures, there's potential there. But I'm also looking at Ollie Watkins as well. Some great fixtures for Villa. Marcus Rashford potentially picked up a bit of an injury, which could play into Watkins' hands in terms of minutes, especially with no other competitions for Villa now as well. So it is a toss-up between this pair, but at the moment it is Chris Wood, but that could change. Captaincy doesn't feel like a massive decision this week. I think it's got to stay with Salah against Chelsea away. His former employers, of course. Salah returned to the score sheet last time out against Spurs, which should give him a little bit of a confidence boost. Goal and an assist for 12 points in a reverse fixture. Obviously, Chelsea play midweek. Liverpool are just going to be partying and celebrating the title, and it's going to be Isak vice-captain. Get your dilemmas in the comments, then I'll aim to answer all questions within the first hour of this video going live. Let me know what you think to my wildcard team as well. I will, of course, keep you updated with any changes I make from this initial draft. Hit that like button. Let's get this to 1,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you for watching.